Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? I don't know, here today. It's just been really overcast, but as long as it doesn't snow, it's fine. It is cold indoors though, isn't it? And you sort of think an extra jumper. So it's a great excuse to get all those fluffy, sparkly ones out. So here we are on tile 103. Oh my goodness me. It's pretty good going, isn't it, really, when you think about it? And what do I have today? Keeping it when I say simple, keeping it simple today. Black tile, white pen. I've got my white chalky pencil as well, and I've got a tortillon. Now it's not a brand new one. If you have a look at it, it was graphite, but I've just sanded it off on the edge a little bit, put to a point, so I can use it with the white. So, all right, we're ready for this. Are we ready? Quite looking forward to this one actually. It's been a while since I've done a black tile with a white pen, so I thought it's nice to give it a go, isn't it? So okay, here we are then. I'm going to start with a pencil now. I'm going to draw this. I'm not quite sure how you're going to see this, but you will on your own, so just as normal, just be gentle with it. I'm going to actually put my 4 dots. Let's have a see. Oh yeah, you can just see that looks a little bit silver, doesn't it? There we go. And I'm just going to join the dots just from one to the other. If it's not straight, don't worry. If it doesn't quite match, it's fine. It's just a guideline, and we're not going to see all of it when we've finished anyway. Just keep it light. And then don't forget, turn your tile, and it just makes it a little bit easier to get those straight-ish lines in. There you go. I was thinking, then is that going to be straight? Probably not, but that's all fine. It's okay. So there we go. There's my border. All right, let's see. There you are. See, there you go. It's just a pencil line. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look, it's not touching the dot there. Well, that's okay. It's all right. It's fine. Okay. Now, one thing with your white pens, it's very different, as you know, to your normal micron pen. You have to give it a little bit of a get going kind of thing. So use the back of your tile, of course, if you've written your name and things, and just sort of make sure it's working, because sometimes it does dry up on the end and you just have to sort of get it going again. So don't worry if it's not started off as you wanted, just nice and chilled. And of course we're going to slow down when we're actually drawing, just because we want that gel just to sort of have enough time to flow. All right, well, with all that said and done, let's just get on with it, shall we? Okay, I'm going to start in one of the corners. All right, alrighty. And I'm going to come on up again, just nice and slowly, with a little bit of a curve. There we go. All right, so that would be sort of the centre. So I'm not in the centre, it's just a bit of a line there. Okay, and then I'm going to do another. Now, whether you go from the top down again or whether you go this way, it's absolutely fine. Okay, I'm going to go from the top and I'm going to work all the way down. So I've created sort of a little leaf shape. Okay, there we are. Let's just make that a little bit larger, just so you can see what I'm doing. Sip of tea. John's just made me a cup of tea and he's headed off to the post office. So orders can go today. So I'm just going to do a little line on the inside there, but I'm going to bring it back to that point at the bottom. And then again, back around and to the point at the bottom. Okay? Now this is something we don't normally do, because as we well know, with gel pens, colouring is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to sort of start, I'm going to start at the bottom and just sort of watch what I do and see where, so you get the idea. And I'm going to sort of do nice, slow zigzag. All right, keep it slow. Now if it misses a little bit, don't worry about it. That'll just add to the texture. And then when you think, do you know what, I can't do any more, stop, that's fine. Move your hand or whatever you need to do, and then continue way up. And then I'm going to do the same coming down You see? Imagine it's sort of like a sewing machine, maybe doing a satin stitch. And you've just got to move it now and again just to work your way around that pattern. There we go, going all the way down till we get to nothing in the end. Okay. You see these little bits here? It's absolutely fine. That's just going to add to it. Okay. There we are. All right, up for another one? Okay. Let's go here then. I'm going to just bring one in here. There we are. And then back down. Now this time, I am going to go over the border there, but it's my border, it's my guide. I can do what I like. Being a rebel today. Okay? And then again, just take it nice and slow. Back down. And then back down. Just the same as before, so I'm coming back to the point, but I've got this lovely little gap here. Yeah. Oh, hello. Hi, Lynn. Glad you're back. You've not thought, oh my goodness, what is this madhouse? No, do you know what? It's really nice. It's a lovely little group. And it's nice where everybody's really supportive and willing to share. And you know what? In the craft industry, you would think that that was one of the main things, and it's lovely. But that's not always the case. People can be a bit closed, and it's nice to actually share, isn't it? And you just go with it. There we go. And then same here. You see my pen's really going for it now. It's well primed. But, you know, just take your time with it. You know, you don't need to rush. Honestly, I'm not rushing, but you don't need to rush at all. Okay? There we are. Oh. Of course, if I was to lean on this, I would smudge all of this, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to turn it around this way, and I'm just going to bring another one of those shapes out this way. And again, I'm going to go over the border. Definitely being a rebel today. And then, same as before, all the way back down to that point. Okay, so I'm going to work this way this time, and again, just taking my time, just letting the pen do the work. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure for this because the ink's just coming out, it's just rolling with it. So just enjoy it for a little while and just watch it. I love how it comes out and it's really shiny until it sort of dries. You see, I've stopped there, but that means that I can come in from this side, just working those really close zigzags, and I've got a line to go up to. There you go, I'm just sort of following the shape around. There we go. It's just lovely how that white coats over that black. And we don't normally work with such thick lines, do we? But I thought it'd be quite nice to do something a little bit different. Look at that. Oh, okay. Let's do another. Okay, I'm going to put another one here, sort of coming out the back of there. There you go. Let's have a look at that. There we go. Oh, hello from Belgium. Nice of you to join us. I don't know who we've got on today. It's difficult sometimes reading all your messages, which I do afterwards, by the way. And then obviously watching what I'm doing. I can multitask, but trying to do both would be a little bit, yeah, who knows what my tile would end up like. But yeah, it seems like you all have conversations and it normally turns out about food or zingers. And I miss out on all of that. There we go. All right, do we keep it at 4? Do we do another one? I think I'm going to, shall we just sort of change it up a bit? I'm going to do another one. Let's do it. Just one here, look. There we go. And I notice I'm not actually up to the other side of the tile yet. It's just about being there. And I don't really want to go all the way up to the tile. The border there. I just want to have a little bit of a corner going on. There we go. And the same coming back down here. Again, just take your time with this and you might want to do a quick practice first, but once you get into the flow of it, it's really nice to do. There we go. All right. Next bit then. All right, let's move this up so you can see what I'm doing. You can see where the zigzags have gone, and it's not all covered, but I quite like that. It does look sort of hand-stitched almost. All right, so I'm going to put a line. Again, I'm going to start here. I'm going to take it down to that point again. You see I've left a little bit of a gap there. All right, because what I want to do is put a loop on the top. Deep breath for this. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another loop, and then another, and another, and you see how it's getting smaller and smaller each time until you can hardly go anymore. Okay, and then same again this side. There's my loop. Now if you feel that you can only do one loop at a time, fine. Do one loop at a time. It's one of those feel-good type of tangles there that once you get going, it's brilliant. Oh, I'm just reading some of I've seen Leslie Elf, and it's nice to see that packages are getting there, because I know our Royal Mail Post and everybody else courier-wise are really, pushing it to get things out to people at the minute. So thank you for letting me know. I do appreciate it. We do our best to get them out as quickly as we can, but of course then it's in the hands of the Royal Mail or whoever we send it with, so we'll get there. All right, so I'm now just filling in again. I'm just using this lovely swirly pattern just within. Oh, is it drizzling in Derbyshire? Ugh. Say it is a little bit here, sort of hit and miss. I'm not sure if it wants to snow or not, if I'm honest. All right, I'm doing this one first so I don't lean on the rest. It's just while it's still drying. Oh, only 3 behind, Catherine. That's brilliant. You've made some progress there. But honestly, just do them at your own pace. There's no rush. Just, pick and choose. I mean, although, if you see one and you think, oh, I'm not so sure, it's really nice to, I think, just sort of step out your comfort zone and try something a bit different. And you might be surprised at how it turns up, or even if you think, do you know what wasn't for me? You've learnt something from the process. It's only 80 behind. No, honestly, it's fine. Don't think you've got to keep up or you've got to rush. Just sort of come to them as and when you need. It's fine. And then, of course, I know you've all got the books now as well, so that takes you up to tile 60. So you don't even need the internet on. You can just have it in front of you. Okay, see, I want to make more of those. They're nice, but I've got other things that I want to do. But let's just see how that looks together. Look at that. Love that pattern in there. I think it looks brilliant. Really like that. So, okay, ready for another? All right, here we go. I'm going to sort of come in a little bit larger then. Now, let's have a look. I'm going to put, I don't know, a little sort of curved sort of shape there. And let's put a little curve on the top as well. And again, just as before, let's go a little bit larger now. You can see where I've sort of put that. I'm just going to fill it in just like we did before. There we go. All right. So next bit then, are we ready for this? Deep breath. Now we're into loops today, aren't we? And I think that's a really nice way to sort of get going. So I'm going to start at the corner there, see there? And I'm going to create one of those lovely little loops. You see? Okay. So then I'm going to do another loop. And another. And another. Look at this, I'm loving it. And another. I'm quite excited about this one, I do like it. Okay. Let's look a bit larger. So let's just add a little loop on the inside as well. There we go. All right. And if you can, just a little dot on the top. See, I'm not even drawing it, I'm just letting the pen do the dot. Now it depends on how large or small yours is, so don't worry if you can't. It's just adding that little bit of detail there. All right. Okay, let's do another one. I'm gonna do another. I'll let you see where. Oh, learn do's and don'ts. Do try it. Don't panic if it doesn't work out the same. It will never look the same as what I do. It's always going to be different. But just enjoy the process. Like here, just enjoy. See that little bit there? Colouring that bit in. I know you just think, that's a bit crazy. Why are you just enjoying colouring in? But just go with the moment and look for the positives. And just have a bit of fun with it. Of course, as things progress, you'll see patterns everywhere, and you'll suddenly think, oh, I could try that. But just give it a go. Just don't think you can't. Just think you can and give it a go. All right, there we go. Look at that. You think they're just simple lines, simple shapes. And this is all we're doing. We're just building it up as we go. So I've done another one. There we go. And then just filling that in again. See, just taking my time. I do like that bit. And then back in with those loops. And remember, if you find doing all the loops together a bit tricky, do it one at a time. It's fine. And then I'm just going to come on in and add those little loops. Just put a little dot on the end, if you can. Alright, I think I'm going to put a dot on the end of the larger bits as well. There we go. And there we are. It's a little finishing touch, just sort of makes it, keeps it in themes. There we go. Alright. Well, let's put, I'm just going to put one more in, up here. Okay, there's that shape again. And just filling that bit in. And back in with those loops. There we go, that way, look. Alright. And then adding that little loop on the inside. Tiny little dot on there. And then little dots on the top as well. But you know what, that's fine because I'm not counting how many loops are there. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so that zigzag that we did earlier, I'm just going to now do the same, but I'm just going to create a sort of a thinner zigzag, and I'm taking it in towards those leaves. There we go. Okay. And then let's have a little bit of a curve coming up and back down, just to create a little line there, look. A couple of sort of leaves coming off that stem. Just a couple of curves, look, and a little line at the top. Okay. So I'm not really planning where these sort of stems end up. I'm just sort of doing the line and then letting it choose. And here I think this time I'm just going to have one of those sort of leaf shapes in there. Might come back and do another one later. Alright, here we go with this one. Don't, by any stretch of the imagination, think I'm going to do a straight line, because when you're doing your zigzags, it's going to do its own thing. So, bend it on purpose, it's fine. There we go. Alright, so down into this one. There we go. Again, let's add in one of those little leaf there. So I'm just creating a curve and then another curve. Okay. See, they're quite pointy at the top. Don't need a line on there. Oh, thank you, Denise. It's yeah. There's something I always say it as something really magical about working on a black tile. And so normally we do try and work quite fine, but adding in these extra lines and things, so I'm going to put another one in there, you know, to make it a bit thicker. It just brings on a little bit of a different feel to it, doesn't it? Okay, so let's have a look where we're at now. I'm going to work up this top end a little bit, and I'm just going to bring in, let's have a look, I'm going to bring in a curve. Again, look, it's just going over that border there. The curve's just going to go underneath there. And then let's make this a little bit heavier. Now normally with the black we would just sort of colour it in, wouldn't we? But of course, because we're working with a white pen, it's a little bit different. So then let's come on in and just fill in that area, just as we did before, just with those nice, slow, close together. It's sort of almost satin stitch kind of effect, isn't it? And let's have another one coming this way, just a little bit smaller. And of course yours is going to be different, so if you can't fit one, that's fine. You can put yours in a different place. It's all about just building it up and taking your time. Oh, thank you, Sue. It's nice to have you back. There we are. Okay, let's add a couple of curves on this end as well. And I'm not trying to match what I did before, so just go with it and see how it feels. Oh, John, yeah, it could be. I mean, you could do it in a bright coloured gel pen as well, couldn't you? It'd look nice, you know, in the golds and the silvers and things, but sometimes it's nice just to sort of stick with a white, but it's entirely up to you. I did say, didn't I, that I was looking forward to this one. It's a little bit different, and I do like a little bit different. And it's nice to see something build. This would be great as a little topper for card and things, wouldn't it? Oh, Deborah, brilliant, you're getting the idea. Sort of what I was after. So I hope it's going to work. I'm sure it will. Okay, let's add another curve in. I'm going to bring one in up here. There we go. And again, just sort of thicken up that section there. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of a thicker section there. And then in we go. Just filling that in again. Filling that in again. Could you imagine actually creating this, but actually creating it as an embroidery? Now that would be pretty cool. There we go. Because all this can be reproduced in that kind of stitch as well. So that would be lovely, wouldn't it? Alright, and I think here we perhaps need, going to put one here, just sort of like underneath everything. Oh, Bernadette. Do you know what? I'm just so thankful that I do keep getting these ideas and I can keep us all going. Because trust me, it's keeping me going too. So it's nice to share, and I do have these crazy ideas. I actually had a crazy idea yesterday, well, sort of last night, this morning. So I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more about that. Oh, Caroline, yeah, parchment. Oh, there might be some interesting things about parchment too, because as you know, the this one, you know, the Sanntangle and parchment craft works really well together. So watch this space, maybe. All right, let's add a few other things in. Okay, let's bring in. I'm going to bring in just a little curve here. Look, let's go a bit larger. Oh, Lynn. Anywhere and everywhere, and sometimes they sort of just appear. Just going to put a line on the top there. And I know that sounds really crazy, that they just appear. I could just be sitting there and I was like, oh my God, I've got an idea. And I'm not saying that that's going to last forever, because nothing does. But I'm just so glad at the minute that, you know, I'm able to do that. But yeah, it might be, I don't know, on a picture somewhere. It might be, you know, as I'm driving along. It could be absolutely anything. But yeah, you'll find that the more you do this, the more ideas that you'll start to get as well. I know, was it Nadia that found a tangle-on cup? She posted that the other day. That was really nice. But you start seeing them everywhere. There we go. Okay, look at this. All right, so I'm just going to have a look now. I've got, I'm just going to put this line in. You know where we got the border here? I've just got a little bit of my border sort of peeking through there. So I'm just going to draw that bit in there. Okay. And now let's have a look. We've got quite a few sort of gaps in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on in and I'm just going to aura inside those gaps. It's just where I'm just going to draw around. And I'm just going to fill it with some lines that way. And then some lines that way. Okay. See space there. Not much, but I can still get a couple of lines in. And then here, got mine. Now, of course, at this moment in time, everybody's is going to be different. So just have a look at yours. There's a little space there. Just have a look at yours and see where your spaces are and where you can just add in these little sort of shapes just to fill that gap. And then, of course, add that little gap in there. And here we go. I've got quite a large one here. Let's put that in. So I'm just going around whatever's there, not trying to create a shape, just sort of filling the space. There we go. And then getting another one in there. So it's quite little, but I can still do it. You don't have to do every single one. You don't have to fill every space exactly. You could, choose the bits that you want to do. See, I'm going to put one in here. Now I could have come in and done bubbles, couldn't I? But I've not. I've done something a bit different today. See, there we go. There's quite a piece there, look. And again, just adding in those lines, going one way, then the other, and another. There we go. Alright, just moving on to this bit here. It's quite a space there. Look at that one. And then again, and that way. And I think, yeah, I'm going to put another one. Put one in there. A little bit of one in there. Nothing major. All right. Oh, then. Depends what you want to. Depends what you want to do. I mean, all the books are great, and the first 12 tiles are on the video, so you could look at both together. And if you've already got the stuff, then that's fine. Go for it. But if you're not sure what stuff to use, the starter kit's really good because it gives you everything. So it depends what your budget is and what it is that you wanna do. So if you think you can follow the videos, that's fine because the books just give you everything that you need plus the practice pages, and go for the starter. But if you think I've got everything, but I'd like to have the instructions in front of me, then the book's great. So whichever you sort of feel works for you. All right, I know, Nadia, I do like these. Okay, you ready for the next bit? All right, I'm just going to have a look now at these curves here. Oh, you're welcome, Lynn. And I'm just going to add, just because I like doing dots, I've got to have some dots somewhere. I'm just going to put some little dots. You see, it's quite large there. I say quite large, not big, but and then they're getting a little bit smaller as they go down. Okay? And same here. So I'm going to get a little bit here because it's a bit smaller. Okay? And you get those smaller dots just by literally using the pen and just touching the paper. You see how small you can get? But just beware that you don't want to be smudging it with your hands. So there's quite a large one. Getting smaller, small, almost just touching the paper. Okay? Now, here we go again. And it's great to practice this just to see how small you can actually get. There we are. And they're so satisfying to do, they really are. I love doing bubbles. You wouldn't have guessed, would you? And this one. So I've sought out there all those curves that we did earlier. Just working them round onto those. Let's have a look at this. There we are. Okay, so at this point now, remember that border that we'd done? Now I'm going to do it this side first, I think. I'm going to actually bring that border back in. Now I'm not going to really focus too much on it being perfectly straight, but if you think yours really went off, I'm going to, you see, I'm just sort of amending it slightly there, just so it suits what I want. And then I'm just going to turn it and bring it all the way back. Just taking my time to those dots there, okay? And then on this bottom edge, just to finish it, I'm just going to take that in there. Okay, so there we go. We've got this one, but we've got a little bit of a border coming in there now. All right. Oh, I know, Glenys. Yeah, that would be great. I challenge you. All right. So what I'm going to do now, let's work on this. Let's aura around the shape we have now. Don't try and make the lines too sort of sharp. Let's just keep them nice and gentle. Just sort of a little bit of a distance away. Working our way around. Okay. And then along and in. You see I'm just slightly curving when I get to them. It's nice to just sort of feel the flow of it. You notice I'm drawing towards me really, and I'm turning the tile as I go, just so it's not giving my hand too much grief. It's really comfortable to do. And then just coming around those shapes. You see I come off now and again if I need to. Just pick it up again. And just by chance, there we go, it joins there. Woo! There we are. Okay. Do you not think, Kathy? Yeah. All right, let's do that again. I'm going to do a nice, not too fine, but not too thick. I'm just going to follow that aura again. See, just taking it around. Get it all the way down there. And just following the shape. There we go. See, turning the tile as I go. There we are. Just working, it's quite nice working around those there. That's how it goes. I'm not going to go into massive details there. I'm just going to work my way around. There we go. See, a little bit. All right. Oh gosh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Right, quick sip of tea, being that John made it me. Okay, so what we're going to do now, you need to sort of take your time with this. So, deep breath, relax your shoulders, relax, and I'm going to very gently go in with that zigzag satin stitch appearance again, and just fill in that gap that we've just created. You see, no rush in it, but again, if you find that there are little gaps, it's fine because it's going to fit in with the feel of the tile. There we go. See, this time I'm going to go all the way down to that section down there, look. A little bit there. And then back on my way. Get my way around. And I do love, you know, how a gel pen's nice and shiny while it's wet, and then how it sort of eases off when it dries. It's just divine. I just love doing this. Of course, if you were working on a white tile today with a black pen, then you might want to incorporate a slightly thicker nibbed pen, you know, just to get these thicknesses in, because if you're using, say, an 01 or an 02 to try and cover these zigzags, you're going to be a lot longer than an hour. And of course it's using your ink. So using, I don't know, maybe an 04 or an 08 if you're filling in would do the job for you. Or a brush pen, but then a brush pen's not going to give you the texture that we're after today. We're not after a smooth finish, we're after something that looks a little bit like stitching. There we go. Okay, so far so good. All right. Next bit then. Okay, we've got a space here, we've got this sort of gap. So what I'm wanting to do now, I'm going to create a bit of a grid. Now, doing a grid, I'm going to I could start at one end and work my way across, but I do tend to sort of split space, and I think here it's nice to sort of work to the point. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to keep it quite, not too wide at all. Again, let's split my space there, look. Okay. And then the same there. So I've got similar sort of sizes. So I'm going to have one there. And then here I'm going to split each one now into 3. There you go. So I've got 2 lines. So you see how they look sort of similar? And the same here. So I'm just doing it by eye. I'm not measuring it. But just by splitting it up in the first place, it's just helped it a little to sort of get it similar. There we go. All right. And then next one. Now here again, I'm not going to start here. I've sort of got an idea on the size of the distance now. So I'm going to work on, let's put one in here. You see, I'm doing it by eye because I've got this sort of 90 degrees shape here. And then I can bring that one in. And that one, so it sort of fills. So I'm not working on a really small one, I'm getting the line in that I want to use. Let's turn it round, because let's just check, yeah, that's dry enough now, so I can lean on it, and then I can complete the grid. There we go. Just nice and gently working my way down, just by eye. And I always found that it's easier if you've got to draw a line. You work from the top and you work and come towards yourself. See, I might even put a little bit in there, look. Just so it looks like it's following through. There we go. All right, let's have a look. All right, okay. So just to sort of enhance this a little bit then, let's just make it a little bit larger. Oh, hello Diana. Good morning. I know it feels like quite late here because it's really dark outside, but it's not quite 3, so we're getting there. All right. Okay, a bit larger so you can see. Just join that. So there's a couple of things you could do. You could actually put a square in here, which is one of the normal sort of tangles. But being that we're keeping in with sort of stitching, I'm going to come in and add a little dot where each of those lines cross over. There we go. Now, I am sort of making a thing of, you know, going around, but don't overdo it, because as you say, we're working with, you see there, look, we're working with a gel pen, so sort of round and off really, round and off. So I'm starting around the outside, into the middle and off. Because if you keep going around it or you try and go over it too many times, it'll just look a bit scratchy. And we don't want that. We want a nice, solid dot. Okay. There we go. So this is just sort of, it's almost holding down the netting, isn't it? It's just giving it that extra little stitch in there in order to give it that effect. There we go. See, just those dots. And of course you've got to remember that you're not wanting to lean on this because it needs to dry. It takes a bit longer than if you were using a regular micron. So I'm working sort of right to left. You might be working left to right, unless you're left-handed. But I'm sure you'll work that out. Whatever works for you. Oh, Bernadette, I'm using the most popular gel pen size for a white anyway is an 08, and that's the easiest one to get hold of. And that's the one I'm using today because obviously I didn't want to use a different size and then you can't get hold of one because that would have been unfair. So I'm using an 08. Hang on a second. There we go. But you can get an 05. I don't have an 05 with me at the minute, but the 08's fine. And you do find on some packs you can get hold of an 06. But whatever works for you. All right, let's have a look at that. Okay, look at that. All right, I'm going to put the pen down now and I'm just going to make sure it's dry. And you can do that by just lifting it up and you can see, you know, if it's still shiny, but that's not bad actually. It's dried pretty quickly. All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, Shirley, you can get hold of 5s. They work nicely. Oh, Nadia, parchment. Parchment, it's, imagine tracing paper, but it's not tracing paper. And you actually work on the reverse side of it with a ball tool, like almost embossing. And then you, as you turn it over back on the right side, you find that it's all white. It does look really pretty. Okay, so here we go. Chalk pencil or pastel, whichever you've got. I've got my chalk one here. And I'm just going to add a little bits in. So I know we've already got white on here. But I'm just going to come on in and add in some white chalk in the base of each of these leaves. Now if you're coming in and you've used a regular tile, then this is where you'd put your pencil before your tortillon softens the edge. Okay? And then I'm just going to add a little bit around the outside, just around this section here. Turn it round. And then just around here. Okay. And then if we go back to these leaves that we started with on our flowers, just going to put the little sort of centre stem in with a white there. Okay. Couple there. Alright. And then I'm going to come on in and just add some, see, I'm just ever so gently, oh, I do apologise, off cue there. It's just gently adding a little bit around the edges, see? Just almost in that zigzag formation again, but very little pressure. I'm not putting much on at all. Just giving it a little bit, okay? Obviously a little bit down there too. And then coming back to the squares here, pick a side, and I'm just going to add a little bit of a, it's almost like an L-shaped look. Line and zigzag down. Line and zigzag down, you see? Now, I'm not going to particularly do that on the ones that are close to this because I've already got some sort of chalk there, so I don't need it. But on the ones that I do have, and again, I'm not going to be too heavy-handed with it. Just nice and gentle. But again, if you're working on a regular tile with a black pen, then you would do the same, but you'd just use your regular pencil just to create this. And of course, you know, you can come in and you could add some of your pastels in if you want to get a different colour. Alright, so here we go, tortillon. And I'm going to come back over here to this section here, and I'm just going to ever so gently work my way around, so very, very gentle swirls, just to soften that off, you see. Just nice and gentle. And then on the other side there, you see I'm not trying to push it anywhere. I'm just coming in and just softening the edges off there. Okay, let's have a look at that. There we go. See that? I'm just going to ease that off there, almost to black. And then of course, just soften that. I'm just pushing it up. I'm not covering everything. I'm just giving it a little bit of, definition in there. Nothing major. There we go. And then of course the little lines we've put on the leaf, just again a bit of a zigzag, just to soften it off. They're quite small, so there's not really much you can do with them, but that's okay. We're just softening it a bit. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, oh, icing sugar. See, I knew you'd get it back to food somehow. And again, I'm just gently working my way around. There we are. I'm just following the shape that I did before. Just ever so gentle. I mean, I've actually got hold of my torch and see quite, there you go, look, quite high up. And I find that if you're a little bit heavy-handed, then if you hold something a bit further back, then it's sort of less pressure you can put on it. And then, okay, let's bring it to these ones. And again, I'm just going to sort of follow the pattern that I did. See the line and then down, the line and then down. And just softening those edges, but I don't want to cover the whole square. I just want to leave a little bit of that black tile there. Okay. There we are. Just gradually working my way across the tile. See, just leaving that little bit of black. Remember, we did start with a black tile. There's a lot of white on this today, but you know, I think it's well worth it. I think we've. There we go. Okay. So a couple of things just before we move. I'm actually going to bring in a black pen. Okay. Just my regular black fine line. You see here on the edges here, I'm just going to come in and redefine that line there, or that edge. I'm just going to bring it up and over to here, and then the same here, just there we go, redefining. Now be careful, because what you might find is your pen might resist a little bit with that chalk, so it's all right, just sort of rub it off onto another piece of paper and it'll come back, but don't force it. All right, and just redefining. See how now you can see that that one's over. And same here. And I'm just going to bring it down and just sort of split off those two. And the same on this side. So there's no rush with this. And of course, if you're happy with your tile as it was, you don't have to come back in and put these details in. I think it's just nice to finish it off. There we go. And there we go. See, I might even come in like and just add a little line over the top of those leaves. Remember where we just put that little bit of chalk earlier? Again, just depends on your pen, don't force it. And then just a little zigzag. over the top of those. I might just even add a little line. Let's do the same again. See, this is a nice thing that we don't always think of, as if you've used white and you think, oh, you know, I need to add a little bit of something else in. You can go over the top of it with a black pen afterwards. Just make sure it's dry, and you have no problem doing that. It's absolutely fine. Let's see here, I'm just going to redefine that area there. Okay, and then last little bit. See here, it just needs, I think, a little bit of definition in there. It depends on your tile and how it looks, you know, and your own preference. Sometimes I like to come in and just sort of tidy up those edges a little bit, just so you can, you know, you redefine things a little bit. Oh, I know, Karen, there, look, see, it's just enhanced that little bit there, hasn't it? And it's just sort of given back some of that detail that we could have almost lost with the white pen originally. But you've got this sort of effect now of a little bit of satin stitch. You've got a couple of little chain stitches going on there. And of course, just adding those extra touches of the black has made that difference. There we go. All right. So obviously I'm going to go back to my white. That's all right, Catherine. You can have squiggles. And I'm just going to put my initials. Yeah, I'm going to put them here. Remember, on the front of a tile, because we've written our full name on the back, you only need your little monogram, your initials on the bottom there. So there we go. My goodness me, tile 103. Oh, done. I was really looking forward to doing this one because it is different. It gives you like a little bit of something to go for. And I know that if you're, you know, your sewers and seamstresses out there, or just embroiderers or parchment craft, maybe this is something that you want to take into there and have a little bit of a go at. It's absolutely crosses paths in all directions. So just have a bit of fun with it. Try it on a coloured tile as well and see how that works. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy this one. So I look forward to seeing what you're going to do with it and how it's going to be. So yeah, enjoy. I will speak to you all again, all being well, if you're about on Friday at 2 o'clock. And then of course it's our tile swap, if you're up for it, on Monday. And I'll talk a little bit more about that on Friday, just so you get a hint. But there is a post There's a post on my website, on my Facebook page, that'll give you a little bit more information, but I'll give you a little bit more about that on Friday. So until then, have fun, enjoy this one, and I look forward to seeing what you do with it. So everybody take care, go and have a cup of tea, put your feet up, put another jumper on if you need to, and I'll see you all on Friday. Right, have fun, bye. Bye.